Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. This resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Hi, Ollie. Hope you and Charlene are both well, and I'm glad you all survived the hurricane a couple months ago. I live in one of the major Hurricane Harvey affected areas, so I know how scary it can be. Sorry my donation isn't much, but I really do value your channel and watch your videos all the time. I've even shared some of my knowledge and gained from you with family members who are dealing with narcissists. I can't tell their stories, though. You've done two videos for me in 2017. The narcissist always thinks they're doing you a favor, and the narcissist makes their F-ups your problem. In my last messages, I detailed a lot of cheating and physical, emotional abuse from my ex-husband, my son's father. I left off where we were heading to mediation after he petitioned to lower child support and also petitioned for custody. My brain is so far removed from our original ugly divorce proceedings, now I can't delve into the initial divorce stuff 5 years later. The recent case was settled at the end of July, and I recently married my boyfriend of almost 3 years in October. So I felt like I couldn't get into my divorce state of mind to retell the issues because I was happy to be done with my ex after mediation and so happy to be moving on with my new wonderful husband and 15-year-old son. Last Monday, I received a message on the Parent Talk website from my ex, which he has never used ever. He has our names and my son's in the messages, so please leave those out if you can. And also, my son usually spends those nights at my ex and my wife's and his wife's house around the corner from my house. So after getting that message, I, of course, don't mind. Okay, so wait a minute. Is there a message? Oh, here it is. All right, let me see this. Okay. Anonymous. Due to a family situation, I think it would be better for son to stay with you overnight on Tuesdays and Thursdays during the school week. Wow, he had him during the week, huh? That's what I wanted with Erin. So I could at least be a part of her day-to-day stuff. But whatever. I will pick him up from school on those days, bringing him to your house by such and such a time. I don't know right now how long this will last, but I would appreciate your understanding. Please let me know if you're okay with this. Thanks. Okay, and you replied, of course, that's no problem at all. Okay, so. All right, back to the messages. So after getting that message, I of course don't mind, but this man never asked me for any favors ever. And I knew a long time ago not to ask him for any favors. He was so nice in asking that I wondered what was up. He is never nice to me, unless it's for his benefit. That's always, be careful. I have plenty of emails to show his contempt. If he is so nicely asking for help, it must be the last kicks of a drowning victim. He hates me because I'm the only one who really knows him. Maybe his wife's older son was having problems. Maybe her little girl. Maybe their baby. Who knows? So I just accepted it and went on. I told my parents, husband, and sister about the message. Sister did some internet research. We could only speculate. I assumed he had gotten himself into trouble with the IRS or his business or something like that. Wouldn't be a surprise. A few nights ago, my parents called and said, we have something to tell you. The ex-husband was arrested last Friday. I asked what for, thinking like I already said, money fraud, illegal hunting in the woods nearby. My mom said domestic violence. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut, and I don't know why. He had tried to choke me, pushed and shoved me, thrown things at me. I always was too afraid to call 911. I thought if he had caught me calling the cops, he'd kill me for sure. I guess when he remarried, I thought, well, maybe he'll finally be happy. Apparently not. Public information shows he pushed his wife to the ground and struck her several times. So he was on top of her, hitting her, or standing over her and hitting her. Either one is awful. She is no friend of mine, but no one deserves that. She had no clue what she was getting into, and I'm sure he was passionate and charming in the beginning, but I know how terrifying he can be. My questions to you, Ollie, are many. What could he tell my son? What could he tell my son are the reasons they aren't staying around the corner with her and all the kids, etc.? No one has told me anything. I'm afraid to even ask reasonable questions because I don't want to put a target on our backs for his rage. I found out they are at my ex's aunt's house pulling out Harvey flooded carpet and sheetrock. 4 months later, with mold and all this shit, and my son has asthma. Should I notify my attorney? Is his wife going to follow through with prosecution and or divorce? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with her. As far as you notifying your attorney about, look, I would ask, let me read on. Let me read on here. You don't know what his wife's going to do. Who knows? If she went through with a prosecution, anything's possible. Will she call and ask me questions? Possibly. Possibly. Now, what you do, whether you ask them or not, will you answer? I would. I would answer them honestly. I wouldn't offer it up. I wouldn't go running to her. But I'd answer her honestly if she calls you and asks you. The really sad thing for my son would be to go through another divorce and being separated from his half-brother, and also that she was really a great stepmom to my son. We were really friendly at first. I didn't share our dirty secrets, but I was so glad she was really loving towards my son. And now my ex has fucked up everything. The rageaholic control freak lost all control of his life. At 42, his wife must be just as afraid of him as I was for him not to be allowed in the house. I guarantee his dysfunctional aunt will fund and coddle him all the way through whatever happens, and probably warp my kid too. On one hand, I want to protect my son from the idea that his father, who he loves and fears, is a horrible and abusive person. On the other hand, I don't want my son to live a lie about his father being a good person and find out accidentally, maybe in the future, everything that happened. If his wife calls to ask questions, should I answer honestly? Will my ex lose both his sources to abuse? Will he abuse or manipulate my son instead? All of that's possible. All of that's possible. I would first try to talk to him honestly and say, look, I know what happened and we need to talk about this. And if he goes into a freak out rage and all that, because you already know his history, then I would go to the attorney. I would give him the opportunity to discuss this rationally, to find out what's going on. And if he can't do that, then get the attorney involved. I apologize if this letter is disjointed. I just had to send it off to you. My family is a huge help, but they are biased to protect my son and I. We have prayed for my son's father that he has hit rock bottom and maybe get help, and for all the kids involved, that they are safe and well adjusted coming out of this. But I know he is spiraling right now and maybe laying low thinking it'll blow over. But his rage at himself will have to be directed at someone else at some point. I just don't want it to be me or my son. Thanks again, Ollie, for all you do. And if I don't respond to the comments section, it's just because my Google name is basically my whole real name. But I do appreciate and read the comments from your viewers. Thank you again. Love again to you and Charlene, Anonymous. Well, you do have a lot to be concerned with his history of violence towards you. And yeah, he can do that all. He could end up directing all his rage towards your son or you, and the concern should be for your son. So what I would suggest to you is try to talk to him through this talking parents thing. See if you could set something up to talk rationally. Let him know, look, I'm not judging you. I'm not attacking you, but I'm concerned for you and what's going on based on our past. And see if you can maybe reach him, maybe for your son's sake, before you just sick an attorney on him. Okay? And if you can't do that, then you got to get the attorney involved. You have to. You just have to, for your son's sake. So I hope that helps. It's a tough situation. That's really the best you can do. If the wife comes to you, I wouldn't go seeking her out. But if she comes to you looking for answers, I'd answer it honestly. But to be honest with you, if she was going to do that, I think she would have already. Don't you? So the best thing the best advice is to be honest. If you're asked about this, be honest, but don't go seeking. So give him the opportunity to explain this and work it out. And if he doesn't, then you're going to have to get your attorney involved. And beyond that, I hope that helps. Thank you again for your contribution and your story. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it growing, supported, and expanding, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance.